When selecting your keywords for SEO, what 3 to 5 KPIs do you recommend other than search volume, i.e. search results, impressions, et cetera, to gain a competitive advantage? Or would you say ignore most KPIs and focus solely on the most relevant keywords your target users will be searching for at different places off of the funnel and intent?
All right, so there's a lot of misinformation about keyword research out there. Mm-hmm. So let me just come back. First of all, a KPI is a wonderful concept, provided the SEO team has control over it. For instance, I can give every client changes to implement. And the marketing team, with the best of intents, goes to the web design team and says, hi, we need this integrated into our website. And the web design team doesn't do it, or they do it wrong. Hard to hit a KPI if you're not implementing SEO correctly. So part of it is, if you want to be held accountable for a KPI, you actually have to have the power to implement it. And you have to have the power to do it right. I'm not responsible for your sales team. I'm not responsible for your pricing. I'm not responsible for your quality reputation in the open industry. I am not responsible for whether your customer service team services your clients or whether they've been burned to death in the Better Business Bureau. I have no control over a lot of that stuff. However, we do have certain things that we can do. And I believe that the general consistent delivery from an SEO project is traffic. Now, ideally, it's targeted and it's appropriate and it's easier to convert. It's not just visitors, but that we are able to, based on a keyword, generate traffic. So let's keep on that. So on a keyword, we're generating traffic. Our job is to identify keywords, that generate traffic. It's easy enough for us to understand, but it isn't just nonsense traffic. It isn't cat pictures on my website. I mean, those are popular, but that isn't our goal. Right? We want to actually perform better. So let's pick keywords that perform. Now, if you walked up to me and said, Bruce, I have a brand new website and I want to perform well, and we're going to start with our keyword research. We're going to then look at ranking. We're going to determine what's close. We're going to have a baseline. We're going to determine if those keywords are even used on your website. We're going to determine what's on your website. We're going to determine what keywords your competition uses that you don't have on your website, content gap analysis. We're going to do all that kind of stuff. And we have plenty of pages on our website that describes it. And we describe this in the training module. So what I want to do is make sure we understand that KPIs, if I don't have the ability to enforce it, it's hard to hit it. You know, people who come to me and say, Bruce, assuming they do that, Bruce, I want to rank #1 in Google. The easiest way for that to happen is you buy me Google, and then I go into Google, now that I own it, and I say, make that site #1. But if I can't do that, I'm fighting with everybody else that wants to be #1. Keywords are important. Themes are equally or maybe more important. Siloing is vital. You cannot be a subject matter expert unless the search engine has a concentration of information that matches the query identified within your site, properly navigated to each other, and totally siloed. Otherwise, you've dispersed it. So it isn't enough just to have a keyword. You have to have a theme. You have to have a navigation structure. You have to have the content that supports it. And you have to pull it all together and put that into a website. How do I pick keywords? I'm going to tell you the quick and dirty way to do it. And then I'm going to tell you to forget what I just said because you really want to do siloing. I can take your website. I can take each item in your top nav. Now, many of you probably have 30 items in your top nav. I'll just take all of the items that are in the dropdown, which are typically 2 or 3 words, often 1 word. I will just take everything in your nav and put it into our tools. Then I'll go to the keyword suggestion tool and I'll run it. And what it does is it pulls in these keywords and then goes and pulls from Google, people also asked, or some of the instant drop downs. We pull all that information. We pull 3 different databases from Bing. And we then aggregate them, run them through a formula, find out if, hey, everything said this keyword, or no, only one said the keyword. And we give you recommendations for what you might want to use as a keyword list. Then we allow you to take those keywords, check mark them, and add them to your keyword list. Then you run a ranking monitor. Then you aggregate that. You say, oh, I rank on page 3 for all these keywords. Imagine if I was on page 1. And the reason I rank on page 3 is my site is actually about that. So now I have that. I at least have some ranking. I can at least have a short-term project to fight them up to from page 3 to page 1. I take those keywords, I do queries, I find out how my competitor is performing, I do my content gap analysis, I follow my siloing strategy, which is a detailed keyword analysis, and that's in our siloing training course. And then I go back, I refresh all my keywords, I make sure my content matches, and I move it forward. How do you come up with keywords? Your keywords are to match how people search. I've seen too many people invent keywords that they can rank for. That's it. I invent keywords I rank for. Hooray, hooray. I rank for them, but nobody searches for them. Head terms. You never start with head terms. Your 1-word, 2-word phrases. If you want to rank for a 1 or 2-word phrase and you don't rank today, you better go out and rank for 3 and 4-word phrases that are hierarchically under them, that are subsets, that are theme related, that are subsets. If I can rank for my 4-word phrase, I can make it so that I rank for my 3-word phrase. When I rank for all my subset 3-word phrases, now I have a fighting chance of ranking for my head terms. But you do it bottom up. You don't just say, hey, I've got a 2-word phrase and I'm going to just hammer content on a 2-word phrase. If you have none of the long tail keywords, I could have 1,000 pages on that 2-word phrase and never rank for it because they have no supporting content. So it's a tough thing. We do have a lot of keyword information on our website. We have it in our training. We have it in the siloing. Dylan's got a great video on doing siloing. We've got all sorts of things out there. I would get in and read those, and that should give you a good map.
If you want to ask Bruce Clay your SEO question, head on over to seotraining.com/pages/webinar and register to join our next live webinar with the Father of SEO himself. It's completely free and allows you to get the SEO insights you need for your website. So sign up today so you don't miss out.